Greeting fellow Modonauts. Now, like most of you, I rely on a lot of scripts to help me improve my efficiency working in Modo. And there's a lot of stuff available in the community. But lately, I've been really enjoying the Pushing Points Hatchet Collection by William Vaughan. Now, this is a collection of over 100 Python scripts that add a lot of functionality to Modo and help make creation more efficient. So let's open Modo, and I'm going to create a unit sphere. In polygon mode, I'm just going to select it. And up here at the top, you can see this little axe icon, and that gives us access to the Hatchet Collection. And as you can see, there's a ton of stuff in here. I'm just going to go into the Deform menu and then down to Rest on Ground, and I'm going to say Rest on Ground. When I activate that, you can see the sphere jumps up and is resting now on our ground plane. So that's cool. Let's go over to Channel Chimp. Now here on my iPhone, I've created a series of buttons. So this is my own interface that I've built, and to see how this is done, just check out our OSC tutorial on the Channel Chimp website, and it'll walk you through the process. Okay, so in Channel Chimp, I'm going to hit the Auto Learn button, and then I'm going to just tap this one that says Rest on Ground. So it's added it automatically into Channel Chimp. I'll come over into the sidebar, and I'll change my output type to a Modo command. And in the Modo command, there's a box. You could type a command in here if you know what it is, but in the new version of Channel Chimp, we've got this drop-down that shows the most recent script that's been run. So here we have the Pushing Points Rest on Ground. I simply select that, and we're done. Back in Modo, let's take a look at how it works. So I'm just going to move this sphere off just to see. So, I'm busy modeling and I decide I want this to rest on ground. Now all I have to do is tap this button, and there you go. It's resting on the ground. Now the advantage to this is that instead of going through the menu, the menu is cool, but when you want to speed up your workflow and you want to work quickly, ideally you'd want to assign a lot of your scripts to quick key. But the problem is, there's not a lot of keys left on the keyboard. Most of them have already been assigned by default in Modo. So you either have to overwrite them, and then you're watching a tutorial and you try to do something and you've remapped those quick keys, they don't match anymore. Or you can start creating your own buttons however you wish, designed just for your own workflow on your touchscreen device. And in that case, you have an infinite number of buttons and controls that you can create. It's not limited like your keyboard anymore. You can have many pages of controls. Let's do another one. So I'm going to grab the sphere again, and let's move it off somewhere. There we go. And this time, as you can see, if I say rest on ground, it rests on the ground plane, but it's not at the origin. So what if we want it to go to the origin? Well, Hatchet provides for that as well. So I'll go into Deform, Rest on Ground, and I'll say Rest on Ground at Origin. Okay, there we go. Now it's both resting on the ground and at the origin. Let's pop up Chimp again, go to Auto Learn. I'll tap my button that I've created for that function. And then in the sidebar, choose Modo command. And now you can see the latest command's always at the top, so that's Rest on Ground at Origin. So I'll select that, and we're ready to go. So back in Modo, I'm busy modeling, and then I decide I want this to rest on ground at origin. Touch the button on the iPhone, and we're done. Let's do another command. So I'm going to select 2 diagonal polygons, go into Hatchet, and then down to the Topology menu, and then down to this function Diagonal Redirect. So that redirects the flow diagonally here of the topology. So again, let's bring up Chimp, Auto Learn, and I'll select the Diagonal Redirect. And in the sidebar, we'll say Modo command. And again, you can see it's constructing a list here of all the scripts that have been run. So the top one is the most recent, and it's the Pushing Points Diagonal Redirect. We'll select that. We're done. Back in Modo, I can select 2 polys diagonally, and then I just tap that button. 2 more, tap that button. 2 more, tap that button. Move it up. Oops, want it to rest on ground. Come around. Diagonal redirect. How about these two? Diagonal redirect. Yeah, so you can see that it's really fast working this way. Very efficient way to work. And as you can also see, you don't need to have Channel Chimp in the foreground. Once you've set up all your buttons with the commands that you want to trigger, then you can just, minimize Channel Chimp and have it in the background, and you're good to go. So touchscreen controls are great because you can create as many controls as you want and customize and style them however you wish to fit your workflow. But sometimes it's nice to have something that is tactile, a physical control surface. And that's why I'm now going to show you how I'm using a MIDI device, in this case an Akai APC Mini. Channel Chimp supports MIDI controllers, and there are lots of these types of devices on the market, not only from Akai, but also companies like Novation, with all kinds of different configurations of buttons and sliders and knobs. You can find this particular unit on Amazon for under $100, and it's a nice controller with a lot of buttons and these sliders. I find the sliders handy for things like controlling lights in Modo with Channel Chimp, and the buttons are great for triggering stuff. So let's take a look at how we can use this device with Hatchet. Okay, so let's open up Channel Chimp, and I've just created a new project. And I'm going to start by clicking the Auto Add button, and we'll press a few of the buttons on the APC. I'll click the Auto Learn button again to stop it from learning, and we'll select the first button. Over here in the sidebar, we'll say Modo command, and now from the Modo command, I'll pick one of these. So let's make this first one rest on ground. Let's choose the second button in the sidebar, Modo command, and we'll make this one rest on ground at origin. And the third button, we'll say Modo command, and I'll make this one diagonal redirect. Okay, we're done. So I'll minimize Channel Chimp, and now back here in Modo, if I wanted this sphere to, this guy to rest on the ground, I just hit the first button, and now it rests on the ground. Let's move it off just to test. And now if we said I wanted to rest on ground at origin, hit the second button, that's done. And of course, if we select a couple polys, hit this third one, there's our diagonal redirect. Let's do another one, diagonal redirect. Come over here, I want a diagonal redirect there and back down this way, diagonal redirect. So as you can see, it's really fast now to be able to trigger the commands here from these buttons as I'm modeling. So that is an example of using Hatchet with a physical controller. Either way you go, touchscreen or physical controller, as you can see, using Channel Chimp can really help speed up your workflow in Modo using kits like Hatchet.